During a violent storm, the ship on which Jennifer Reming was traveling wrecked. Jennifer miraculously survived and ended up on the shore of an unknown island. After regaining consciousness, she found her friend Brad nearby, who was badly injured and suffering from thirst. Brad mentioned seeing something strange in the sea, but Jennifer hadn't noticed anything unusual. Desperate to help him, she rushed to the palm trees to get a coconut to give him water. However, when she returned, Brad was no longer showing signs of life. Left alone, Jennifer began to explore the island in search of help or food. Not far from their camp, she discovered abandoned belongings that seemed to have belonged to people who had left the island many years ago. Among the items, she found some useful supplies, including a box of matches and cans of soda. While walking along the shore, Jennifer stumbled upon a hollow tree trunk from which strange noises were coming. As she cautiously approached and peeked inside, a bird suddenly flew out, startling her greatly. As night fell, the weather worsened, and rain began to pour. Jennifer had to seek shelter, hiding under large palm leaves. But the next morning, she was fortunate. The tide had washed ashore a fish, which she took with her, hoping to cook it later. That day, Jennifer came across a disturbing find. A small shark lay on the shore with clear claw marks on its side. She realized that something much larger than this sea predator had attacked it. Alarmed, she continued her exploration of the island. After some time, Jennifer discovered old graves, presumably of the people whose belongings she had found earlier. It seemed an entire family was buried here. She decided to also bury Brad's body. Jennifer dug a grave in the sand, gently placed her friend there, and stuck a stick at the head of the grave, carving the letter B into it. In the evening, after lighting a fire, Jennifer cooked the fish she had found and ate it for dinner. The next morning, while passing by Brad's grave, she was horrified to see that it had been dug up, and his body was gone. The tracks around the area suggested that some unknown creature living on the island had eaten him. Alarmed by the presence of a dangerous predator nearby, Jennifer fashioned a spear by sharpening a stick with a stone. Later that evening, she rekindled a fire and fell asleep next to it, hoping the flames would keep the creature away. However, in the middle of the night, she was awakened by a strange noise, but in the darkness she couldn't spot anything suspicious. The next day, Jennifer noticed a suitcase floating in the sea, apparently washed ashore after the shipwreck, and swam out to retrieve it. While in the water, she saw a strange circular hole beneath the surface. Returning to the shore, she opened the suitcase but found only clothes and shoes, which were of no real use to her. After changing into dry clothes, she lit the fire again, hoping to warm herself. At that moment, she heard the sound of an airplane in the sky. Excited at the possibility of rescue, Jennifer quickly grabbed her flare gun and fired a distress signal. Unfortunately, the plane didn't change course and didn't notice her signal. However, as the flare fell into the sea, its light illuminated something enormous emerging from the water. It was the creature that had eaten Brad's body. Horrified, Jennifer ran deep into the island, trying to find shelter and hide from the bloodthirsty beast. The creature came ashore but failed to find her. The next morning, Jennifer decided to investigate the photographs left on the island, which likely belonged to the family that lived there before her. Among the pictures, one in particular caught her attention. In a photo taken by the shore, two glowing eyes could be seen. Jennifer immediately recognized them as the same eyes she had spotted in the sea the previous night. It became clear that the creature not only killed her friend, but was also possibly responsible for the demise of the island's previous inhabitants. Realizing that staying on the island was dangerous, Jennifer decided to leave. She found a life jacket and packed it into a suitcase, hoping to use the structure as an improvised raft for sailing away. However, her plan failed and her attempt to set out to sea was unsuccessful, forcing her to return to shore and come up with a new escape strategy. Jennifer recalled a hollow tree she had seen earlier and decided to use it as a shelter. Inside the decayed trunk, the sea creature wouldn't be able to reach her. Grabbing a spear, she climbed inside the tree and tried to sleep, preparing for the night ahead. However, her sleep was interrupted. In the silence of the night, she heard sounds coming from outside. It was the monster, which had approached her hiding place. The creature tried to pull Jennifer out of the tree trunk, but its efforts were in vain. When morning came, the monster left and the girl was able to leave her shelter. Deciding that simply defending herself wasn't enough, Jennifer came up with a new plan. She would prepare bait for the creature. She ventured into shallow waters and caught some fish, then chopped the catch into small pieces and threw it into the sea to attract predators. As sharks began to gather, Jennifer used her spear to kill one of them. She hung the shark from a palm tree, hoping it would distract the monster. Sitting back in her shelter, she carefully watched the bait. But at the moment she briefly lost focus, the monster grabbed the shark and disappeared into the water. Not giving up, Jennifer made a new spear and continued her efforts. Soon, she noticed the remains of her friend Zach in the water, or rather, what was left of him, his upper half. With sorrow, Jean pulled Zach's remains onto the shore and hung them from the tree in place of the shark, believing it would attract the creature again. That night the monster indeed returned, took the new bait, and went back to the sea. Shortly after, a plane appeared in the sky, offering a faint hope of rescue. Jennifer had her flare gun ready to send a distress signal, but suddenly, a sea monster appeared in front of her. She had to remain still and quiet until the creature left. The next day Jennifer decided to act more cautiously, knowing that every day on this island could be her last. She no longer wanted to risk her life. Staying on the ground seemed too dangerous. To keep herself safe, Jennifer made a hammock and secured it high up in the palm trees, thinking the monster wouldn't be able to reach her in such a position. As night fell, she climbed into her new refuge, feeling a relative sense of safety. However, the night brought new horrors. The creature resurfaced from the depths of the sea. It tried to tear down the hammock by shaking the palm trees, and soon Jennifer fell to the ground. Finding herself near the monster, she ran, but it was faster. When the beast caught up with her, Jennifer tried to defend herself by striking the monster. The creature hit her back with such force that she was thrown into the water. But to her surprise, the monster did not finish her off. It simply left, vanishing into the darkness. In the morning, Jeanne took a shower, and then she noticed a lifeboat being carried by the current toward the island. Relieved, she ran to it, and to her surprise, her boyfriend Lucas and her friend Mia were on the raft. They were overjoyed to see each other, and once they were on the island, Lucas and Mia rejoiced that they had been saved from the open sea, where they had nothing to eat and had thought they would die. Once they had settled in a bit, Jennifer told them about the night monster that comes out of the sea and tries to kill her. However, Lucas and Mia reacted with skepticism. They thought that Jen's imagination had run wild due to stress and loneliness, but she insisted, showing them photographs of the island's former inhabitants, including the eerie photo with glowing eyes visible in the background of the sea. Jennifer wanted to leave this terrifying place as soon as possible, but Lucas and Mia resisted. They didn't want to return to the open sea, where certain death awaited them. While the friends were discussing their future plans, Jennifer noticed fresh bloodstains on Lucas' knife. This raised her suspicions, and soon she suspected that her friends were hiding something important related to Zock's disappearance when they had run out of food. That's why she only found the remains of Zock's body on the shore. Realizing the danger, Jennifer decided to escape the island alone. In the evening, she secretly packed her belongings, pushed the raft into the water, and tried to leave unnoticed. However, her maneuver did not go unnoticed. Lucas and Mia soon discovered her attempt and rushed after her to stop her. In a desperate struggle, Jennifer tried to resist, but Mia hit her on the head with a paddle. Jennifer lost consciousness. At night, when she woke up, darkness surrounded her. She saw that she had been tied to a palm tree. Lucas and Mia refused to untie her, blaming Jennifer for all their misfortunes. Lucas stated that he no longer wanted to be with her, saying she was surrounded by negativity, and even compared her to Zock, hinting that she had become too much like him. However, he didn't get the chance to say what they had actually done to Zock. Mia was walking along the shore when suddenly the sea monster appeared before her. Hearing her scream, Lucas rushed to help. Meanwhile, the tied-up Jennifer desperately tried to free herself to escape. As the creature approached Mia, Lucas tried to scare it away with a burning torch, but the beast barely paid attention. It pushed Lucas aside and disappeared into the water. Mia remained motionless on the shore, and soon the creature returned, dragging her into the depths. Lucas couldn't intervene in time, and Jennifer ran to him, pulling him away from the water. They spent the night in a tree, and in the morning Jennifer jumped down, but Lucas was afraid to follow her, fearing the creature might still be nearby. Jennifer convinced him that the creature only appeared at night. After what had happened to Mia, he no longer resisted the plan to leave the island. Jennifer began fishing while Lucas gathered coconuts. They packed everything onto their raft, preparing to escape. As the raft was lowered into the water, Jennifer was the first to climb aboard and immediately noticed signs of a struggle. Soon after, Lucas joined her and began paddling, trying to keep their distance from the island. But it wasn't long before they realized that the creature was following them underwater. Realizing they were in danger, Jennifer and Lucas zipped up the tent, hoping it would protect them. But to their horror, the creature damaged the bottom of the raft and tried to climb inside. Its head emerged from the water, and Lucas grabbed the flare gun, trying to scare it away. The first shot had no effect, and the creature continued to pursue them. But the second shot was successful, and the monster retreated underwater. For a while, everything seemed calm, but it was only a lull. The creature hadn't given up. It attacked again. In a panic, Jennifer tried to free herself. At the last moment, she found Lucas's folding knife and managed to cut herself free. The creature swam away briefly but soon approached the raft again. Lucas also dove underwater, holding a spear he intended to use to save Jennifer. But the monster quickly spotted him and attacked. Unfortunately, the spear was useless. The predator grabbed Lucas and dragged him into a deep hole at the bottom of the sea. Jennifer was helpless. Exhausted, she surfaced, caught her breath, and returned to the island. Fortunately, the raft also washed ashore. When Jennifer made it back to land, she noticed that the fire was almost out. She had run out of matches and knew her chances of survival would plummet without a fire. She rushed to the embers, desperately trying to reignite the flames. After several attempts, she managed to start the fire again. The fire was her salvation, and Jennifer decided to use it in her fight against the monster. She wrote a message for anyone who might come to the island after her, warning them of the deadly danger lurking in the waters. Jennifer recounted the fate of her friends, how the predator dragged them away one by one, and that the creature was still nearby. She made it clear that she was tired of living in fear and hiding. Jennifer began preparing for her final battle. She sharpened several sticks, turning them into spears so she would have as many weapons as possible. Then she dug up one of the old graves and found bones, which she crafted into sharp stakes, determined to use everything she could to defend herself. Her plan was simple: lure the monster into a fiery trap and destroy it. She was ready to face her enemy head-on, and no longer run away. When night fell, Jennifer lit a fire, preparing for the decisive battle. She created a circle of sticks and dry branches, and as soon as the monster stepped inside, she quickly blocked its path to retreat. Armed with a homemade spear, Jennifer fearlessly charged into battle. Despite a swift attack, the monster proved stronger and threw her outside the circle. But Jennifer wasn't going to give up. She stood up and re-engaged in the fight, continuing to battle the creature despite its physical superiority. Finally, after several attempts, she managed to gain the upper hand. At the end of the film, the camera pans out to reveal 1/3 of the island engulfed in flames from Jennifer's battle. She stands on the shore victorious, but with no means of escape from the island. This is where the movie ends. Like the video if you enjoy it, and see you next time.